Well, good morning. This is Rick. I hope everyone's having a great day. Looks like these allotment videos are coming in thick and fast this week. This will be about the fourth one I've made, I think. We've got the ongoing project happening with the shed extension, or the thingy thing, as I called it in my last video. And there's not a lot I can do here today because I'm still waiting on the plexiglass to arrive. So to be honest, there's not a huge amount I'm going to do there, but I have got some extra paint. I bought a brand new tin of wood preserver, so I'm going to give everything a lick of paint today. Now I did get asked by a couple of people how many coats of paint I normally put on. Well, it's not paint, it's like wood preserver. I normally go for 2, and so the cladding that I've put on, that really needs to have its second coat on, and I'm really hoping to get a lick of paint onto the old shed as well, so that that's, you know, nicely preserved again. So that's my main aim today. But if there's any time left over, I'm hoping to do some sort of a tidy up operation here, and maybe even think about starting to position these beds so that I can actually start putting soil in them and sort of, you know, actually getting them ready for growing. So I'm not sure. I don't want to push the boat out, because quite often at the beginning of a video I say I'm going to do stuff, and then I get halfway through what I've done and get completely tired and want to go home and don't end up doing it. But yeah, I would like to get some sort of little odd jobs done while I'm waiting on the windows and the work surfaces to arrive, which should be towards the end of next week, at which point I can move in officially to the new shed and kind of really get stuck in there. I've also been thinking about a floor, and I was looking at perhaps building some sort of a like a decking type floor in there, but you know what, to be honest, at the moment I think what I'd be looking at is just some wood chip sort of mulch stuff, just to put down. I'm not sure if I build a decking floor in there. It's obviously it's going to have to be sort of around the walk areas, around the tables, and my biggest concern is things like trip hazards. You know, it's got to be right, and the problem is because the ground is so uneven, I'm not entirely sure I can get a level floor in there without it, you know, sort of when you step on one side of it, the other end of it coming up. And so I'm thinking it might be more trouble than it's worth, and I think perhaps just a good layer of wood shreddings, something like that down there. I think I'll just do that for now, and if I don't get on with that, then perhaps I'll look into other flooring ideas. I've also got to seal up the area around the base, because there's obviously a big gap all the way around the bottom of it. Thanks to everyone for your suggestions and ideas. I've had all sorts of ideas, you know, from sort of just stuffing loads of bricks in there to getting black expanding foam. I didn't know you could get black expanding foam, but apparently you can. I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do, although what I'm thinking along the lines of is putting some scrap wood along the outside, and then maybe just using the high expansion foam on the inside, and then obviously once it's set off, I'll take off the scrap wood. That's just kind of an exercise in sort of keeping it as neat as I can. But I don't know. We'll wait and see. A lot of these jobs I end up sort of just kind of figuring them out, you know, as I'm doing them, and I think that's probably what's going to happen with this. Right. Anyway, I decided to have a cup of coffee before I start. Not tea, coffee. Only basically because I haven't got any milk, and tea's not actually that nice without milk. But coffee's fine, so I can have black coffee. But yeah, I think first things first, I'm going to get on and start painting. I'll probably do that on time lapse, and then if there's any time at the end, I'll film anything else that I do today. So, better get on with it, I suppose. Right, there we go. Everything's got a lick of paint on it again, or wood preserver. Managed to coat that shed as well, although you wouldn't think it looking at it. Could do with another coat. Right, next up on the agenda is I need to seal up those gaps at the bottom, and all I'm going to do is find some scrap wood from down the bottom of the plot and just literally attach it to the outside so that the expanding foam has something to push up against. There we go, they're just on purely as a temporary measure, and it just gives the foam something to butt up against so it doesn't all come oozing out of the bottom of the shed, or the greenhouse rather. Okay, this is what it looks like from the inside. Everything's been battened off. Now these two pieces of wood here, they're just fillers because there was a lot of space to fill there, and I don't think that foam, well, I've only got one can of that foam, I don't think it goes that far, so I can put the foam around the top of that and sort of underneath, and hopefully it'll expand around these and kind of build these two bits of wood into the filled area. I've also had a little thought regarding these little stilts, because at the moment they're just untreated wood, which is likely to wick water up into the wood above it. So what I need is some non-conducting or some non-porous material, like a damp proofing. Now I don't actually have any damp proofing, but I thought, well, but a tin foil would do that, because the water's not going to go through the tin foil. If I fold some pieces of tin foil into just a little square and put that between the main structure and the stilt, then water should not wick through into this wood. Once again, all theory, but I think that'll save me a few pennies and save me having to buy damp proof membrane, because I'll only need a tiny little bit, just basically where the greenhouse is in contact with the stilts. Right, I need to nip back home now, and I forgot to bring that squirty high expansion foam. I also haven't got any tin foil with me, so I should nip home now, get those bits, and then come back and we'll have a play with this high expansion foam. Sort of looking forward to it, although it might be a disaster, because I've used this stuff before, and you put the tiniest little bit there and you sort of go back the next day and it's expanded to sort of like a football size. So it's going to be interesting. I just have to use it very conservatively, but I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm going to be putting it up here, because I'm pretty sure when the rain falls on these troughs, obviously the slope is going this way, so some of it will go that way, but I'm pretty sure some will go that way. So I think it makes sense to just fill this whole eave up with high expansion foam, just a little bit. I'll just put a little bit in there, and then hopefully overnight it'll expand right up and fill that right up. Anyway, well, there's only one way to find out whether it'll work or not, and that's to do it. Back in a bit. Right then, tin foil, and this is that expanding foam. Hopefully there's going to be enough in here to do everything I want to do. Obviously, most important thing with this stuff, gloves and glasses. First things first, I've got to go and start putting tin foil wedges underneath all of these stilts, so let's go and do that now. Right then, there we go. That's all of the stilts have been capped off with silver foil. Those two there. So hopefully the stilts should now not be in a position to wick water into the main frame. Right then, so lots of bits of wood under there, none of them actually making contact with the wood above, but where are we? There we go. Hopefully that'll just mean we use less foam when we go to fill these gaps. But I've got to do the important bit first, which is up here. Let's climb up and have a look. This obviously is a hole from the outside. I've got to get some foam here, and then I'm going to try to squirt foam in here as far as I can reach, which is literally about there, and I'll try to do the same from the other side, and then the rest will have to be injected from inside underneath. Right, here we go then. I've got to move quickly because this is fast drying, so I'm going to put the camera up on a roof and hopefully you'll see this. I found I can reach further in if I put the ladder here. Right, here we go then, push me that. Man, this is messy. Ooh, right, it didn't go all the way round. There wasn't enough in the can. I sort of suspected there might not have been. It's a messy old job, isn't it? Look at it. But whenever I've used this in the past, I've come back the next day and it's literally doubled again in size. So what I'll do is I'll just let that do its thing, do whatever it's got to do, and I may have to go and get another one. It's pretty messy, but hopefully if it does the job, then you know that's really what matters, isn't it? Right, next up I'm going to turn this old raised bed into a cold frame, and I think I'm going to sit it along here. Makes sense. So I'm going to get started with that. What I'll do is I'll temporarily put it there, but obviously once I've got the bottom side of the shed of the new greenhouse sealed up, I need to take these pieces of wood off, but I can worry about that later. So let's get on with this then. There we go, one cold frame very simply knocked together, and this will be ideal for, well, it's basically like a little mini greenhouse, and it'll be ideal for starting off seedlings and things, and it means I won't be taking up so much space inside the greenhouse here. So that's the idea of a cold frame, and when you're acclimatizing your plants to the cooler weather, you can just leave them propped open, and obviously at night time you shut them down again, and it's a really great way of hardying up your plants ready for planting out. Fantastic. Right, I've still got that other frame up there. I'm not sure, I mean, could I use a second cold frame? Do you think I'd actually use it? I'm not sure where I'd put it. There's not enough room here. I'll have a little ponder on that. If you've got any ideas, do feel free to let me know. I suppose I could sort of make space for it, I don't know, sort of over there maybe, or well, I can make space for it anywhere really if I want a second cold frame. Don't know. I've run out of this plastic stuff. This was the plastic stuff that Des gave me yesterday, and although it's a bit curvy in the middle there, I think that's going to act as a water catch, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll whack a bit of duct tape on there, that'll sort it out. Right, got to figure out the next task now. Basically just trying to get as much done as I can, because obviously what I do now I don't have to do later. Right, here's another job done. I managed to secure a pallet to the wall, and I've been able to separate all of the bamboo, the short ones and the long ones, and they're nicely tucked out of the way here, and because most of the time they're going to be in shade, so they're hopefully going to last a bit longer, because obviously when the sun shines on bamboo it kind of dries it out, and the UV rays eventually kind of make it go all brittle and snappy, but hopefully if it's tucked in here it'll be in the shade most of the time, so they might last a little bit longer, and it's just a neat little place to put them. I'm quite happy with them there. Yeah, it feels like I'm making a bit of progress now. That's really good. And I don't know if you can see the foam is really expanding on the roof, which is fantastic, because that's exactly what I wanted it to do. It's just it's filling up. It's been about an hour since I applied it, and this is what this stuff does. It just you think it's finished, and then it just keeps on expanding and expanding. And that's perfect, because obviously I need it to be all stuffed in there to stop the water coming in. And I do think I'll need to buy another one. I mean, you can see it's all really started oozing out everywhere down there, which is good. That's actually a good thing. That's what I want. But there's still some gaps down here, and I completely run out before I got to here. So I need to get probably another small can. But I can get that at my leisure. That's not a problem. But yeah, I think that's going to be well sealed, and that's exactly what I was hoping for. And when it's completely dry, I give it a week, and then I can come around and just kind of trim off the bits I don't want hanging there. It's quite funny on the roof though. There's sort of like little sort of tennis ball size things there. Look like mushrooms or something. I might just leave them there for a bit of character. I don't know. But yeah, right, I'm going to carry on tidying up, and I've got to bag that lot up. There's a load of plastic there that can go into recycling, and then I'll figure out what else I'm going to do. There we go, another job done. I decided rather than have a thing sticking up out of the ground for these doors to butt up against, I thought I would put a little bar across. I'll have to get another latch just to hold the shed door open, but that basically will go up against there, and that keeps the doors out of the way. Magic. Right then, that is a big pile of wood that I'm hoping my allotment friend's mate is going to pick up, and he can burn out on his wood burner, and that's left me with no wood up there apart from the pallets, which I'm just about to also add to that pile. And then I've got to find a safe place to put these for the time being, because I'm actually thinking at a later date of maybe making some sort of a fruit cage up this end, and I could use those hoops to do it, but that's a little way off yet. But I was thinking of just using 3 of the hoops and possibly using 2 of those scaffolding poles to actually make some anchors for the new building, so that when we do get, you know, proper gale force winds, hopefully it'll keep the thing well anchored to the ground, because at the moment it's just kind of relying on its own weight to stay there, although I can't really see it going anywhere. Obviously, if we've got the proper plastic windows in. What do you think? Do you think if I was to drive, I think these scaffold poles are about 6 foot long, maybe 5, no, actually no, they're probably about 5 foot long. If I was to drive one into the ground in the corner here, or possibly in the middle, just drive it straight down and then bolt it through, it'll basically anchor down the front end of the I think the shed's going to be heavy enough. You'd need a hurricane to take the shed out. But yeah, I'd be interested in opinions on that. Literally just driving it straight into the ground. So it's just a foot above the ground, so it'll be about 4 or 5 feet driven into the ground, and then bolt straight through. That's sort of what I'm thinking anyway. I've also had a little tidy up down this end, got rid of all the rubbish, and it's starting to look a little bit more respectable now. I'll have a little sweep up before I go home, and yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, I was going to put that compost in the wheelbarrow and then bring it down here, but I'm run out of energy today, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. It's Friday today, so I'm going to go home. Got a nice bottle of wine with my name on it, so I should go home tonight, enjoy that, and then I should come back tomorrow and carry on. So this is probably quite a long, another long Rick's Allotment video, so I'll probably sign off on this one and make another when I get down, and I'll be staggering them as I put them out, because you don't really want to put all your videos out all in one go, because it gets a bit much. So I'll be putting these out sort of 1 or 2 a week while I'm doing all this major work. I mean, it's good that I've sort of actually managed to get myself in a position where I can come down and work here. Basically a lot of it was to do with the weather, because the weather's nice at the moment. But yeah, when the weather shines, I can actually get on and get stuff done. So, but I'm just not a bad weather gardener, I'm afraid. I'm a bit of a lightweight. So, anyway, right. So, the mushrooms bid you farewell, and thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. Take care.